Welcome into another edition of Mavs Latest. I am Josyah Howard, and today, gotta give some love to the NBA Finals. Congratulations to the Oklahoma City Thunder as they complete their journey. They are the 2025 NBA champions. Do want to show some love to Tyrese Halliburton. I hope he recovers soon as he ends up rupturing his Achilles early in the first half of the Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Um, again, wanted to show some love to the Oklahoma City Thunder first and foremost, 103-91. Again, OKC, been the best team all year. Tyrese Halliburton gets hurt. It's kind of the end of the story there. TJ McConnell tried to help out the Pacers in the third quarter, but it just wasn't enough. But I bring up all of this to say this might have been Carlisle's best coaching performance of his life. And he is an NBA champion with the Dallas Mavericks, 2011, obviously. To me, and I don't know if others have thought this before, I have gotten the sense over these finals that what I'm about to say is starting to become more of the common thought, but with these NBA finals, Rick Carlisle, he's a top 5 NBA coach. No doubt in my mind. You got, I'm in no order, Eric Spoelstra, Kerr, Ty Lue, Dagnall, and him. Because Popovich is done. I mean, I guess Missoula is definitely in contention, but I'd probably have to give the nod to Rick Carlisle just off respect of his career, obviously. But I say that to say, no matter the fact that the Pacers didn't get this done, it's a win for them this season. No one expected them to be here. I think everybody has gained stock on that roster, from Pascal Siakam to TJ McConnell to sorry, I'm slipping on Opie Toppin, excuse me. To Opie Toppin. I think guys like that, Aaron Neesmith, a lot of these guys are just gaining stock. They're, if they eventually do move on from the Pacers, they're gonna give themselves some good contract opportunities on other teams, possibly for the Mavericks someday. So again, I know the Pacers didn't win, and it sucks that Tyrese Halliburton is now probably looking like he's not gonna play next year because of the ruptured Achilles. I just wanted to shout out Rick Carlisle because always been one of my favorites in the league, obviously leading the 2011 Dallas Mavericks as their head coach in their championship year, so I'll always have love and respect for him. And I just have to shine light on his coaching performance, not just in these NBA playoffs, not just in these NBA finals, but in these NBA playoffs as well. So I wanted to take this moment. First of all, congratulations to the Thunder, but again, Rick Carlisle, keep your head high. You did a hell of a job. I think you coached up this team as best as you could, and honestly, you guys left it out there tonight. So again, Thunder 103, Pacers 91, and the Thunder are your 2025 NBA champions. But Kyrie Irving, back to Mavs latest. Obviously, this is Mavs latest. We got to give you what's the latest with the Mavericks. Obviously, so Kyrie Irving, he joins NBA today during the NBA Finals Game 7 coverage, and he gives a nice note. He says it's an exciting time to be a Dallas Maverick. It's an exciting time to be a Dallas Maverick fan. And shout out to the MFFL, all the supporters that have been rocking with us, getting this number 1 pick. We had a 1.8% chance, and so I loved it. And I've enjoyed seeing all the excitement, not only for the city, from our executive leadership, from our ownership group, and from our teammates. From my teammates, excuse me. And this is one of those times in not only my career, but just in the legacy in the legacy play of being a Dallas Mavericks, where we have a chance to do something special. I know Nico Harrison is going to do great big things. I know Patrick Dumont is going to do a great job, and I know Mark Cuban is going to do a great job. He goes on to say, it's been an exciting journey thus far, even just being in Dallas. It's been up and down, just in terms of the circumstances and the situations. But we've been doing just been trying to do our best. I've been doing my best, and one of those is as a leader of the team, I've got to stay stoic, stay poised, ready for the moment, ready to articulate what's going on, and ready to move forward. So if I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan today, I'm very excited. If you're worried that Kyrie Irving might be thinking about opting out and possibly leaving, or maybe opting in and doing a sign and trade somewhere, that doesn't seem like the case. He seems very loyal to the Dallas Mavericks. I think now Dallas has to plan around getting that playmaker while he's recovering from that ACL injury. So that's good news for Dallas Mavericks. I think, instead of it being planning around replacing Kyrie Irving entirely, it's now just making sure you get that playmaking, the scoring from the guard position until you can get back on the floor, probably around the trade deadline. So it's a lot of time to fill. They definitely have a role they need to fill pretty desperately, and they can fill it in the draft, they can fill it in trades, and obviously we're going to cover it all here on Mavs Latest. But if I'm a Mavericks fan today, hearing what Kyrie Irving had to say on NBA TV during the NBA Finals, Game 7, I'm super, super, super excited. Some underrated news here later in the day here. The San Antonio Spurs have now hired Mavericks assistant coach Sean Sweeney to become their associate head coach, according to Shams Charania. And, this is a big blow to the Dallas Mavericks. Obviously, he's been a key architect in the Dallas defense and a coach who is instrumental in some of the recent playoff success. And obviously, this is somebody Jason Kidd's very comfortable with. He joined Jason Kidd's staff in 2021. Also, they worked together in Brooklyn and in Milwaukee, so they're definitely very familiar with each other. You have Jason Kidd losing somebody on his staff that, frankly, he has a lot of trust in, and it's hard to build up a staff that you have a lot of trust in and honestly you have a lot of respect for, and this is going to be a tough one to replace. They honestly had it in mind that other teams are going to try to poach him, so maybe they already have a couple candidates in mind. I know obviously they're moving around some of their G League affiliate coaching staff members recently, so maybe they go maybe that route in terms of adding to their coaching staff. So sky's the limit in terms of that. But yeah, they got to get to work. Obviously we just talked about Kyrie Irving and the playmaking spot they need to fill. They also need to fill a couple spots on this coaching staff as well. So the Mavericks are going to have a pretty busy offseason ahead of them, as obviously it all starts when they draft Cooper Flagg on the 25th. So just a little bit of Mavs chatter here before we wrap things up here on Mavs Latest. KD, Kevin Durant gets traded to the Rockets, and I just wanted to mention it because it has a little bit of impact for the Mavericks here now that KD joins this division with a team, frankly, that didn't lose a big core piece, really, to me, in Jalen Green, because Kevin Durant's going to replace that scoring anyway. So if you're not willing to pay him long-term regardless, I think that was a good move for them. They move on from Dillon Brooks, who, if you follow the league, he's kind of a headache. I think some of his antics, if I'm a coach, wouldn't want to deal with all that. So, yeah, I think the Rockets got a really good deal. Didn't have to really lose much to gain Kevin Durant, and I think he's the missing piece for them. So, hopefully the Mavericks can make some moves and compete with the urgency the Rockets have after getting the second seed in the Western Conference this year and falling a little short in the playoffs, and finally bringing in some veteran leadership. I wouldn't say veteran leadership in Kevin Durant. I don't definitely wouldn't attach leadership in Kevin Durant, but he doesn't have to necessarily come in and be the pinnacle number one guy. He can just come in and hoop, and that's what he does. So it's gonna be interesting to honestly play Kevin Durant as that many times a year, being in the same division in the same conference. So welcome Kevin Durant, and we are ready for you when you come to the court. Hopefully AD and Cooper Flag are ready to go. Just one last thing I wanted to mention before I go, because it seems like the smoke is still there. I just want to mention Drew Holiday and Malcolm Brogdon, because it seems like those two names really keep popping up, and it seems like there's a lot of smoke there. I've seen a little bit, people are not totally high on bringing in Drew, and I think, I'm telling you, man, what this team needs is Drew could bring to this team what he brought to Milwaukee when he got traded, what he brought to Boston when he got traded. I think he has one more trip in him to bring that type of instant impact, especially defensively. And we don't know if it's a thing of he just sacrificed a lot in Boston or if he's hit a real wall in the playoffs this year. So again, I think Drew Holiday is a real option for the Mavericks here, and he's somebody that even when Kyrie Irving gets back, he's going to be just fine in that team. He'll fit right in. So I'm high on Drew getting swapped in Dallas. I don't know what you send to Boston, but it's definitely worth exploring. It's definitely worth kind of bugging Brad Stevens about. So we'll see on that. I'm definitely keep monitoring that situation, and I just wanted to bring it up again because I keep seeing it pop up, and it seems like it's gaining a little steam, and it definitely seems like out of all the rumors we've discussed lately, it seems like Drew Holiday is definitely the most realistic option. So, and Malcolm Brogdon, I know we talked about him early in the week. Another guy I keep seeing a lot of stuff pop up about, and seems like a lot of steam's picking up with him. But seems like it's more like rumor mill steam than real smoke. You know what I mean? Like Drew Holiday feels like real potential trade, where Malcolm Brogdon is just a trade or a free agent idea. If I had to say it, I probably would go Malcolm Brogdon as more of a plan C. It's just not worth the risk with the injuries at this point. You just unfortunately just can't trust Malcolm Brogdon to be on the court, and I think he's a good player. But where the Mavericks want to be, and hopefully that's contention, he's just somebody that it's a big blow when he's injured because it's hard to replace what he brings to the court. And honestly, that injury risk is just not worth it right now for Malcolm Brogdon. So we'll keep talking about Drew. We'll keep bringing up Malcolm as if we see more stories pop up with him. But this has been Mavs Latest. I'm Josyah Howard, and let's get it, y'all.